And here's a look at how the tense handover of Sergeant Bergdahl went down. It took place in eastern Afghanistan on the Pakistan border. A senior defense official says once Bergdahl was on board a U.S. military helicopter, he wrote SF ? Asking if he was with Special Operations Forces. One of them said yes, adding, "We've been looking for you for a long time," prompting Bergdahl to break down and cry.
All right, we are sorry to break into your golf programming. We will return you to that in just a minute, but we are going to be hearing from the parents of Bowe Bergdahl. He is the Haley soldier just freed. Good afternoon, I'm Natalie Hurst.
And I'm Brian Morrin. The 28-year-old is now with U.S. forces at a medical center in Germany. That's after, of course, the Taliban captured him nearly 5 years ago.
Now, his parents, Bob and Jannie Bergdahl, are at Gowan Field getting ready to address reporters. We are standing by for that live report. In the meantime, we'll remind you that they have actually been in Washington, D.C. for the past week, observing some Memorial Day observances, and then also, obviously, as we saw yesterday, meeting with the president. This is all tied into, of course, getting the news that there were negotiations going on between the United States, Qatar, and the Taliban to release Bowe Bergdahl. And what a long journey it's been. I believe it's been 4 years, 10 months, 30 days.
A very long time, and the U.S. turning over 5 Taliban prisoners from Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, for the release of Bergdahl. And a little bit more about that. It was said to be a tense handover of Sergeant Bergdahl. It took place in eastern Afghanistan along the Pakistani border. A senior defense official says once Bergdahl was on board a U.S. military helicopter, he wrote down on a pad SF ? Essentially asking if he was with Special Operations Forces. One of them said yes, and then told Bergdahl, "We have been looking for you for a long time." At that point, Bergdahl broke down in tears.
And I can only imagine what the reunion will be like when his parents are able to see their son for the first time. You know, we've had a long journey, Brian, where we recall that we've been hearing reports about, well, is he alive, is he not alive? Then the Taliban shows us proof of life videos. You'll recall back in Christmas of 2009, I can remember actually filling in on the anchor desk on Christmas Day and seeing the news wires cross on my phone Christmas morning saying that the Taliban had a brand new proof of life video, and get into the newsroom and get in as fast as we can to report on that story. And I can't imagine the emotional roller coaster, not only for his parents, but also for the entire town of Haley, who has never given up hope.
Yeah, absolutely. And every time one of those videos comes out, of course, there was speculation about the authenticity. At this point, we are going to go live to Gowan Field and hear from Bowe's parents. And we've been listening to Bowe Bergdahl's parents, Jannie and Bob Bergdahl, giving a live news conference at Gowan Field. Highly emotional day. Both parents choking back tears at times. But today, instead of tears of despair, like they've probably shed many times over the past 5 years, today, tears of joy.
Yeah.
Release me, please. I'm begging you.
Idaho's captured soldier, Bowe Bergdahl, is coming home.
His parents thought about him and prayed for him every single day.
And Bowe's hometown of Haley is ready to celebrate.
And thank you for joining us for this special edition of KBOI 2 News. I'm Brian Morrin.
And I'm Natalie Hurst. Sergeant Bowe Bergdahl is now safely in the hands of the U.S. following 4 years, 10 months, and 30 days in captivity.
President Obama and Sergeant Bowe Bergdahl's parents talked about today's big announcement. Take a listen. And tonight we have live team coverage of Sergeant Bowe Bergdahl's release from the Taliban.
First, Glenn Beebe shows us how Bowe's hometown of Haley never gave up hope this day would come.
And here in Idaho, Governor Otter is celebrating Bowe's release. Earlier, the governor issued a statement on the news. He writes that he and the First Lady join all of Idaho and America in expressing their joy and welcoming this news. The governor says, "We look forward to Sergeant Bergdahl's safe return to Idaho and his reunion with family, friends, and those who have rallied around them."
Idaho's congressional delegation is speaking out tonight following the news of Bergdahl's release.
Senator Mike Crapo says he spoke to Bergdahl's family this morning about the good news. And Congressman Mike Simpson writes, "The prayers of people across Idaho and the nation have been answered, and Bowe will soon be headed back to town that he calls home, Haley, Idaho."